So we have just over a week to go until we have what will be the largest content patch for Marvel's Avengers to date. It's patch 1.5. It's really been quite some time since we had a substantial patch. I would class that as the Kate Bishop campaign that came out. I believe it was a way back on the 8th of December, if I can get my dates right here. So that was over 3 months ago this actually came out. So understandably a lot of people are really looking for some content and they're looking for a reason to get back into the game. Personally, I've been playing a ton of other games. I've not really touched Avengers much at all recently, but a lot of people are looking to get back into the game. So what I'm going to discuss in this video, I'll very briefly go over the content that's coming in the upcoming patch, because most of you will know already what is actually coming. But the main part of the video will be, I'll give my thoughts on the additional content that's coming, and then I'm also going to discuss whether or not this patch will be a turning point for the game. But let's dive in first and we'll have a look at the new content that's actually coming, and as mentioned, we'll just very briefly cover this. So the update itself is actually entitled the Future Imperfect update. So it's all about Hawkeye. We'll get him as a new character, of course. I'm really excited to see Hawkeye in the game. I'm a bit worried that in comparison to Kate, who's massively OP, that it might be a little bit underwhelming, but time will tell with that. We'll be getting the new story that goes alongside that, so you get all your cutscenes and what have you, and then we have the new boss, which is Maestro as well. I'm hoping there's another villain or there's something else in there we've not actually seen yet. We did see Taskmaster in a cutscene. I'm really hoping to God that he is not one of the enemies we actually fight. We've been told there'll be 4 villain sectors. I really hope that it's not Abomination, Taskmaster, and then 2 AIM robots. I've got a feeling it might be, but I really hope it isn't. But that's the campaign, and that is what I believe will keep the majority of players actually playing while they go through that. The campaign, I imagine, if we look at Kate, you're probably looking at between around about 3 or 5 hours to actually get through that. And then after that, you've got upgrading Clint. So that will be the bulk of the content, because it is a complete grind to get to level 150. That's not talking about the XP nerf either. I'm not really going to get into that in this video. Next up, you've got the fact that it will be the next gen patch, so you'll get your improved graphics, you'll get your faster load times and so on, so that is all nice there. And then the new features we have, I say new features and I'm holding my hands up here when I say this. The new features are your campaign replay, so essentially you can go through and you can play the campaign once again. There's no chapter select. What you have to actually do, and I've got a big problem with this, what you have to actually do, considering this took 6 months to be implemented, is you essentially delete your campaign progress and you start again from the beginning. So you remember that awesome Iron Man mission where you're flying down the canyon and you've got the music playing, the rock music? If you want to play that mission again, you're going to have to play through about 5 hours of missions with Kamala in the first instance before you can actually do that. And if you enjoyed it and you want to play it again, you need to finish the campaign, or you need to delete it and start all the way at the back again. This is absolutely awful. I can't believe that it's took 6 months for campaign replay to come in and there's no chapter select. I'm really hoping they do sort that, but that's something I'm really disappointed with, you can probably tell. Now we then have the H.A.R.M room customization. I do really like the look of this, and it reminds me of the training rooms you used to get in Marvel Heroes, so that's most definitely good. I would like to see it fleshed out a little bit more, because at the moment it's just a solo mode that you actually get into, so once again another solo mode in the game. But at the moment it's solo, you go in, you can choose modifiers, you choose enemies to beat, but it's like, what is the purpose of the actual mode? So what I would like to see to flesh it out a bit more and make it something that endgame players would use more is perhaps timers that were included for defeating certain waves, so you can compare your build next to the next person, or even the likes of a leaderboard, for example, so you can go in and you compare the times for beating different waves on it with the highest density of enemies or a certain amount of adaptoids and so on. So it does look like an interesting mode, but I do feel they could do more work with it. And these 2 modes are things that were already in the game, but they've been slightly tweaked. They're very similar to the Tachyon Rifts in that it's existing content with a twist, and we've waited 3 months to actually get this. For the campaign replay people have been asking for, we've been waiting 6 months for that. So that's everything that's actually included. It is almost certainly a nice amount of content we are getting, and more so when you have to factor in the fact that we don't pay for heroes or campaigns or anything like that. Personally, I think it was a mistake them doing that, and they should have probably charged for them to fund the game going forward, but it is what it is at this stage. Now, earlier on I asked, has the game turned a corner? Is it turning a corner? I don't feel it is at all. I don't even feel that it is approaching a corner. I feel it's more treading water, and there's still some pretty silly mistakes getting made here, so let me actually break them down. You've got the fact, really the main mistake is that with the next gen relaunch of the game, you're going to have a lot of players that haven't played in quite some time coming back to check out the game. So you want to jam pack it as much as you can with actually new stuff. So when players come back at the moment, if they've not played it in quite some time, not counting the campaign replay and H.A.R.M room because they're just reskins of existing content. You've got Clint and you've got his story, which again I'm sure will be awesome, but you're probably looking at around about 3 to 5 hours of gameplay involved with that. And then once you actually finish that gameplay, you then look for the end game loop, and that is still missing, and for me that's a huge mistake. When they done this release of the next gen version of the game, it should have been when there's an end game loop available. It should have been potentially when Loop 2.0 was brought out. Personally, I feel that if Black Panther's still going to happen, I'm not convinced by that. To be honest, I really don't know what's happening anymore. We've not had any teasers for them. But if Black Panther was still to happen in the future, that's when the next gen version of the game should have actually been, because you would have a huge amount of people tuning in for Black Panther, a huge amount of people tuning in for the next gen version as well. But at the moment, we've got it for Clint. There's no in-game content as mentioned. We still don't have the cloning labs. There's no mention when they're actually coming. It's to do with issues with multiplayer of the game and how it works, and that actually makes a lot of sense because they're really shying away from any kind of multiplayer modes to the point I'm not even sure they know how to fix it at all. Because we've not got cloning labs, we don't have the super adaptoid and mega level threats. They were due out in December. There's no talk if the Maestro Villain Sector will actually be in a mega level threat 1 as well. So we don't have that, and we also don't have the changes to loot. The loot at the moment in the game is massively underwhelming. I think it's that fact's been brought home even more to me recently from playing the Outriders demo, where the loot's amazing, and even though it's only a demo, the loot in that game is currently better than the loot and we have in this one. So yeah, I think they've missed the trick here with this. They should have held off the next gen launch until the next patch when and if we potentially get in-game content and your Loot 2.0. I feel that a lot of players are going to tune in, they're going to finish the Clint campaign, and they're going to jump back out again. Now, actually on the subject of that, I've been thinking about this a lot, because you can probably tell getting a bit frustrated and disappointed with the game at the moment, but I've came to this realisation that rather than looking at it as a live service game, I think the best way to actually treat it is a single player game, not a live service game, not a game that offers a great amount of multiplayer content. Treat it as a single player game that every few months you're going to get something free for, and you can jump back in, you can play it, you're not going to grind it overboard for months on end until the next piece of content comes out, because that will drive you absolutely mad. But you'll play it for a week or two, and then you go away, you'll play some other games, and then a few months down the line you come back and you'll play it again. And I think that's something I'm actually going to do, and I'm pretty sad to say that, because I was looking for a Marvel game that I could just play on a daily basis, the way I used to do with Marvel Heroes Omega. So this video, it's maybe been a little bit ranty, I've maybe been on a little bit, but it's things I've been thinking about for quite some time. So let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. Has the game turned a corner? Are we treading water? Let me know, in the comments below, and thanks for tuning in, stay safe, and I'll see you all again soon.